Hey, we want to welcome you to our new podcast we have here. It's called Who's This? I'm going to give you a little background about a little bit about how God has laid this on my heart and to start this. My name is Rob Alcom. I'm just a citizen of Union County. I pastor a church here in Union County, but I wanted to keep this separate from our church. I wanted to just come to you on behalf of a citizen of Union County, a citizen of North Carolina, a citizen in the United States. I have a burden on my heart for getting involved in politics. A lot of people talk about that the church and politics should be separate. I believe that the church should be very involved in politics. Why? Because our country was founded upon Jesus Christ. Our country was founded on godly morals and godly values. And so I want to share with you a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about and what we're going to do with it and what my vision is with it. First of all, I encourage you to hit the share button, get the word out. And so a little bit about what the Lord's laid on my heart is, I begin to do a little digging on how many people really know who they're voting for. I believe many times that we vote for somebody because they maybe only stand for maybe one big thing that we're against, and they're against. And so we take that one thing. They might be, let's just say for instance, I'm 100% against abortion. I believe that a child is the day a child is conceived, that is a life. And so I stand against abortion. But you might have a politician out there stand against abortion, but you don't know the other 99% of what he stands for or she stands for. And so many times we hear what a politician stands for on one side, but we don't know their whole story. And maybe we vote for them for that reason, or maybe our parents persuade us, our in-laws persuade us, our family persuades us, or our neighbor persuades us. I've known people that will come by and they say, "Here's you a sample ballot. Here's who you are to vote for." And the only reason we choose to vote for that and vote like that is because I'm just going to be honest with you, because I think we're too lazy to go dig ourselves and find out who these people really are, who these politicians really are. It's very important that we put the right people in the right place at the right time. And we don't, where our country is today, our country is I believe that we, on a point that we can turn and go towards God, or we can go downhill very quickly. And so it's not just, I'm a 100% a Christian and I'm going to serve God with all my heart. But it's not just on the Christian side of it too. It's on the community side of it. It's what is our community going to be like in 10 years? What is our community going to be like in 20 years? What is our community going to be like when my grandchildren get teenagers and get my age and start a family? So I'm concerned, and I think it's our job to be watchmen on the wall, and I think it's our job to study out each one of these politicians. And so you might go down a road and you look at see political signs on every corner, and when election comes, time for election comes, everywhere you go, there's signs everywhere. And you might look and say, "Hey, that's a good-looking sign," or "They got signs all over the county. They must be popular. That's who I'm going to vote for." I challenge you to go out and study each one of these politicians. Find out what they've stood for. If they've served in office before, find out what they serve for. Find out if they pro-life. Find out where they at about the growth. Find out where they at about the infrastructure in our county, in our city, our state. Find out the details. Find out what their agenda is. I mean, I think so many people is losing right now. They are losing hope in the politicians because they really don't know who they can believe, because there's so much stuff coming out now. If you watch the news and you see so much fraud and so much illegal stuff happening behind the scenes, and it seems like, hey, if I've got money, I can pay a politician to do whatever I want them to do. And so this podcast is simply for this. That's why we call it Who's This? We are going to, starting next week, we are going to start getting politicians to come in and sit down, whether they're running for county commissioner, whether they're running for city council, whether they're running for mayor, whether they're running for North Carolina House of Representatives, governors, whoever it may be. The invitation is open. The invitation is open to the Democrat, to the Republican, to the independent, liberal, whoever it is. This podcast is open to whoever wants to come. So this is your invitation. If you want to come, we would love to sit down with you, and we have a seat right beside of us right here for you to sit down. And all we are going to do is sit down and let the people in the community know what you stand for. It is a time to get your voice out. Let them see your face, not just a sign on the side of the road. Let them see your face. Let them hear what you're going to stand for, why you're running, what is your purpose of running for office, why you want to get involved in politics, why do you want to stay involved in politics. And so this is your time to come in and sit down, and we're just going to ask you a few questions. We're not going to have a script we're going to go off of. I'm not going to email a list of questions out and say this is what we're going to cover. I really don't want to do that. I want to be able to ask you a question as a politician. I want to be able to ask you a question and get your gut answer. I want to get your answer right off the cuff. I want to know how you stand, and what we need this day and time. You might not be a Donald Trump fan. But there's one thing that you can say about him. Whatever he says that he's going to do, he does. And that's been the problem in our politics for years and years and years. Politicians saying they're going to do this, but yet they don't. They're going to do this. This is what I'm going to fight for. This is what I'm going to fight for. And yet behind the scenes, and I don't know, I had an opportunity here about a year ago. And this really broke my heart. I had an opportunity about a year ago to go into, it was in another state, go into the Capitol building. And we walked in the Capitol building. We went into each place. We went into where the House of Representatives sits, where they do their meetings. We ran into where the Congress do their meetings. And as we walked in these rooms, the guy that I was walking with, he was actually a senator. He said, I want to take you to another room. And he took me behind the room that we was standing in. And as we walked in, there was couches and recliners and a coffee bar there. And he says, they ain't no decisions made out there. All the decisions is made in here. And that sort of broke my heart, because that was telling me, he said, what you find in politics, he says, if you'll scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And I'll be honest with you, we don't need politicians that are going to scratch each other's back. We need politicians that say, you know what, this is what I'm going to stand for, because we the people vote the politician in because of what they said they're going to stand for. That's why you get each one of our votes. And so my thing is to get these politicians in, get them to sit down, and just ask them a few questions. Let them tell you who they are. Let them tell you what they stand for, what they're gonna, why they're running. And so that is my goal, and I'm looking forward to it. We've already got several lined up. We've got commissioners. We've got some running for city council. We've got even out of the county, some that's running for commissioners from other counties is coming. And because we want this podcast to just reach further than Union County. We want this podcast to reach a whole lot further than that. And so I'm really concerned about our young people, that is getting the age of vote, that can vote. many of them they shine away and they pushing away from politics, and we want them to know who they're voting for, and because what the decisions that is made today will affect tomorrow, and so we want to know who we're voting for, and so. I want you to take this. I want you to hit the share button. I want this to be a personal invitation to reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook. You go and look up Who's This podcast, Who's This on Facebook. If I'm not mistaken, it is ryle.who'sthis@gmail.com. You email us that. That is ryle.who'sthis@gmail.com. So that's RILE.who'sthis@gmail.com. Email us, and we will get you set up to come in and sit down with us. And we're looking forward to what God's going to do through this, and the eyes is going to be open. And we want to get your information out, and because we have people on both sides of the. We have people on both sides, and it is our right, each one of our right, to be able to vote and cast a vote on what we believe in and how we think that things ought to be run, and is our opportunity. And so this is what we want to do. We want to get people in and let you see them, let you hear them, what they're going to stand for. And so we encourage you, again, to hit the share button, get the word out. We're looking forward to what God's going to do through this podcast. What we must realize, and I grab a hold of this, we live in a country that we have the freedom of religion, and not everybody's Christians. And so, that's one thing I'm going to ask some of these politicians. This is one of the questions that I'm going to ask them. Let's just say that our county, and I'm just throwing a number out there, and it's probably not correct, but I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's just say our county, let's just say 50% of our county is Christians. That means 50% is non-Christians. And so I'm going to ask that politician, whether you're a Christian or not, how are you going to be able to, as a politician, to be able to help both sides? And so that is one question that I'm going to ask them. What are you going to do to be able to help the Christian side if you ain't a Christian? And what are you going to do if you are a Christian to help the non-Christian side? How are you going to, what is the benefit? How are you going to help them? And so that is one of the questions I'm going to ask, because we have freedom of religion. And so it's your right to worship whatever you want to worship. I'm so thankful that I'm a child of the King. I'm so thankful that I'm a born-again Christian, and that's how I'll stand. I believe that's why the country is founded on. So there's some things that we want to ask, and we're looking forward to sitting down with these politicians and asking each one of these questions, and we hope that you will tune in each week. You never know. We might have 2 a week. We don't know. However they come, we're going to get them out to you, and this is what this is all about. It's not about us. It's just about one concerned citizen trying to get the word out about who we are voting for. And we ain't just voting for a beautiful sign, or we ain't just voting because mom and daddy said so, or my neighbor said vote for this person, or I heard he was a good person, or she's a good person. That's not what I'm voting about. There's so many lies going around today about politicians. So many, it's amazing about when you get into politics, how somebody will run somebody's name into the mud and don't even know them. They run it in the mud because of what somebody else has said. And so, this is opportunity that you can hear them out. So again, we want to thank you for tuning in with us through this episode. I know it's very short, but I just wanted to get my message out about what are we doing and what's coming. We very excited about where the Lord's leading us with this, and I think it's going to be a tremendous help. We're going to start sharing a lot of statistics with you, and sharing with you about, we're going to dive into some stuff about, I've been doing a lot of research about the number of voters that is in this country that is going to affect the 2028 election. And you will be surprised about what's affecting and how I believe the enemy is using the loopholes, even in our Constitution, they loopholes that they're using to be able to vote in the United States, and they ain't even living here. And so, I want you to know that I stand on the Constitution, but I believe that there's things in our Constitution, that Constitution wrote a long time ago, and I think there's some things in our Constitution that we need to start looking into. Not saying that we completely change it. No, I stand by the Constitution, but I'm just saying there's some loopholes there about being born in this country and becoming a citizen. We have China shipping people over here on vacation to have their baby here and have their baby, give birth to their baby, leave and go back home, and now they're a U.S. citizen. I want you to do your own digging, your own research, but here's your little nugget to just think about. You realize in the last 10 years, statistics says that they almost 1 million Chinese is going to be legal to vote in 2028 in our U.S. election. 2028, 1 million Chinese will be able to vote in our election. Why? Because they was brought over here. The mother gave birth to them here. Their mother and father was Chinese citizens. They come over here, gave birth to their child, and went home, and now they have dual citizenship, and they are able to vote in our election in 2028. Do your research. Don't just sit back and watch Fox News and watch CNN and all these other news stations and think, I'm telling you, do your own research. Find this information out yourself, because I promise you, when you start digging in, even in our county, it blowed my mind when I began to look in our county and look at the money that's spent and where it's spent. And so I encourage you to get involved. Take just a little bit of time, cut Facebook off, cut the TV off, and do a little digging yourself. And you'll find out. Sometimes I think we find out more than we want to know. But again, we thank you for tuning in. Let me back this up. This can also, if you're running for school board, we would love to have you. We think our school is very important. If you're running for school board, you're running for any kind of office, we would love for you to come in. Maybe you are you've got out of politics. You was in politics for some time, and you would love to come in and sit down and talk with us. We would love to sit down and talk with you, and we'll do a podcast with you and just getting the knowledge out for people. So again, thank you for tuning in to us. We look forward to being with you next time on Who's This Podcast. God bless you.